Hey guys, welcome back to a new video, and today we're not talking about Skate, but instead we talk about a different game, and this one is called Skatestyle. You can now find it on Steam, also with a demo that you can download right now, and then you can get your hands on the game, or at least on a pretty early version of the game yourself already. But I was lucky to get my hands on this game even earlier because the developer had sent me a code for the demo. So for, well, I would say roughly 2 weeks now, I was already able to play the game and check it out, and now I'm finally allowed to share it with you. So what can you expect to see in Skatestyle? Well, first of all, I would describe it as a realistic skateboarding game, so more towards the simulation, and I would say it's pretty similar or pretty close to Skater XL from the feel and also from the controls. You have different control schemes that you can see right here, so there's a simplified version and two different left foot, right foot versions. What this means is that with the simplified version, you always use the same stick for nose and tail, no matter if you're skating switch or fakie. And with the left foot, right foot, you always have one stick assigned to your left foot and one stick assigned to your right foot, no matter your stance. But no matter which one of these controls you use, it all comes down to a twin stick control system. So pretty much like Skater XL and Session. Now, you might be wondering, well, we do have Skater XL and Session already. Why do we need another game that is similar to these two games? Well, Skatestyle comes with a very interesting twist, and this is actually what makes this game so unique. But I'm gonna get into this in a minute. First of all, I'm gonna give you a little bit more of the basics around the game so you actually understand what makes this game unique as well. Now, when you start into the game and also when you start into the demo, you get a quick tutorial first. So you learn to push, to control your skater, you do some flip tricks, some grinds and so on. And when you come from Skater XL or from Session, you should get the hang of this pretty fast. So I think you should feel right at home when starting this game. You will also notice that this game feels pretty good right away from the controls and from the movement and everything. Now, of course, it's at a pretty early state, or well, it's not finished yet, and you can still see some clipping when doing tricks or from the clothing, or sometimes the animations of your character are a bit messed up, and you will also encounter other bugs and glitches, like sometimes you get stuck on a rail and you fall, but you still hear the grinding sound, for example. It is still a little bit rough around the edges, but below these rough edges, there is definitely a gem in the making. And in this skateboarding gaming niche, there's not too many games that are being released throughout a year. So when there's one released, usually all of the community is looking at this game. And I think for this one specifically, it's definitely justified, and I think everyone who's interested in skateboarding games should definitely keep an eye on this, because it feels really good, it plays really good already, except for the rough edges, and I had a blast playing this game so far. Typically for a skate sim, it also gives you quite a lot of customization options for how you want your game to feel. So for example, you can change your pumping speed boost, your wheel friction, your grind friction, your stick release, pop height, push force, and so on. You can adjust the camera in any way you like to, from the horizontal, vertical positions, the distance, the rotation, field of view, how much it's shifting sideways when you're grinding. Everything that you know from other skateboarding games is in this game as well. So when you start this one, you will not get the feel that this is some kind of, well, I'm trying to make something better than Skater XL or Session, but I don't actually make it better, or this is just some like half-baked thing or anything. You can feel that the developer is really putting a lot of time and effort into this one and is trying to get things right. There's also an extensive character customization where you can change your body shape, your hairstyle, your skin type, your eye color, whatever. You can change your clothes from head to toe, so pretty typical to other skateboarding games as well. And of course you can adjust your board as well, from deck to trucks to wheels. Of course this is all not polished yet, so some things like the hair, for example, it looks a bit strange, but it's just a demo. It was really just revealed, so this game is not being released tomorrow or anything. In the demo you will also find 3 different maps. So that's the tech course, which is this indoor skate park right here, and I actually spent most time here because I think it's built pretty well, and you can feel that it's, well, I'm guessing at least that this was built by an actual skater or by someone who is actually skating in real life, because that's just how that park feels like, because it has such a good flow and you can go round and round and round on this park and get into different variations and have your lines, and it just feels like someone actually thought this through. Then you have the contest course that is a little bit more rough around the edges and it looks a little bit more plain. So I think that this is work in progress. The tech course definitely feels like it's a lot further in development. And then you also have the bowl bonanza. So you have 2 bowls and this half pipe. And then you have the curb area, and the curb area is technically not a map for itself, but it's just a part that connects all of the other parts. So you can go from one map or from one part of this whole map to the other, and you're not just limited to one map and then you can only warp to the other map, but you can actually skate between those as well if you want to. Now, earlier in this video, I was talking about a twist that this game has that I haven't seen in any of the other games so far. And this is that you can actually adjust or define or program, however you want to call it, your own animations. And for this, Skatestyle has an own animation editor. And this is also actually, I think, where the style in Skatestyle comes from, because the developer wants you to be able to have your own style when you are skateboarding. And the developer is describing it that when you are skateboarding in real life, everyone has their own style, and even though they might be doing the same tricks, they all look a little bit different because the skateboarder is having their own style. But in skateboarding games, the problem is that when you do a trick, then it looks the same no matter if it's you doing the trick or another player or another one. But it almost always looks exactly the same, so everyone has the same style. And this is where this game wants to step in, and this game wants to give you the opportunity to actually adjust your way of skating. So you can take an ollie, for example, just a pretty simple example, but you can take any other trick as well, or any grind or anything else that you can do in the game, or a grab or whatever, and you can tweak this in the way that you think it fits your style better than the default animation does. So you can adjust your head, your neck, your right hand, your left foot, your right foot, and so on. However you want this to move, you can adjust this, but it will still be the same trick. And what's pretty cool as well is that you can not only program these animations yourself, but you can also check out other people's animations and then import them to your game. So even if you don't have any idea how your style could be, or you're not really getting along with the animation editor, then you can still tweak the game in a way that you like and in a way that you think that it fits your playstyle. And in the same way, of course, you can also export your animations if you think they're incredibly good and you want others to see them. You can export them as well, and then others can import them into their game. Aside from that, of course, the game also has session markers, for example, that allow you to start and then return to this point. And it also has a replay editor, of course, with all kinds of things that a good replay editor should have. So you have keyframes, you can select different cameras, you can edit your clips, and so on. So this is everything that the game has right now in this demo build. I'm sure there is still a lot of stuff missing that we will see at some point in a final build, but for now this is what you can expect to see in skatestyle in the demo of the game, and this is my first impression. This is the first gameplay that I'm allowed to share with you, and I'm actually positively surprised. I'm always a bit hesitating when I'm seeing a game that is going towards the Session or Skater XL direction, and I'm like, well, maybe let's see how it feels, because sometimes, well, the games might be struggling with the controls or they're not just getting things right and so on. But this game seems to get a lot of things right. Yes, it's still rough around the edges, so when you download the demo, and I can really recommend to download the demo and try it out yourself, but when you download this demo, please do not expect a finished and polished game. It is rough around the edges. You will definitely encounter bugs, you will encounter issues, you will encounter glitches, but I think this gives a pretty good impression already. I think this is a really good start to a game that I think could be the next big thing within the skateboarding game community, and I will definitely keep an eye on this game as well and will follow it and will definitely keep you updated about its further development. But yeah, that was it for today. There was Skatestyle, first gameplay and first impressions of this new skateboarding game that I think looks very promising. I think I've said this quite a lot in this video, it should be clear by now. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye bye!